Hey, Justin, you want to watch a movie?
Yeah, sure. What you got?
What do you think about,
No, I saw it last week.
Oh, what about,
Not again.
No. How about this?
Wait. You want me to watch what?
So what did you think of Support Your Local Sheriff?
I thought we were watching Support Your Local Gunfighter.
Oh,
no. Because James Garner, Joan Hackett, Walter Brennan.
Yep, Jack Ellum.
Same thing, right?
Surprisingly, yeah. Surprisingly similar. It's a sequel in the same way that A Fish Called Wanda is a sequel to Fierce Creatures.
Joking aside, I liked it.
I did too, which is why I wanted you to watch it, because this is, to me, the child-friendly parallel to Blazing Saddles.
Yeah. I can see that.
The sheriff who is absurdly good at his job with a bunch of ne'er-do-wells who are absurdly bad at theirs.
Yeah.
So, for those of you who are joining us, welcome. This is You Want Me to Watch What, the podcast where Justin and I share movies with one another, and then we get to talk about them and invite you all to listen in. You exhibition. No, that's not exhibition. What's the ones that like to watch?
Voyeur. You voyeuristic.
Voyeur.
Yeah.
You voyeurs, you. All right. So, and this month, for this week, we watched Support Your Local Sheriff, a 1969 Western comedy starring, as you put it, James Garner, Joan Hackett, Walter Brennan, Harry Morgan, Jack Ellum, and Bruce Dern. And directed by Burt Kennedy, if that matters. It begins in the Old West town of Callender, in the Colorado Territory, at a funeral, where in the grave that's been dug, a woman who is there notices that there is gold, and thus begins the gold rush.
Mm-hmm.
Her father, a farmer, Ollie, played by Harry Morgan, who also played the
Colonel Potter.
He was also the Colonel Potter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he becomes the first mayor, but no sheriff. Well, they've had lots of sheriffs, but most of the sheriffs have been run out of town or killed because the Danby family they're a ranch, they're a ranching family, and they have basically taken it up to charge a toll for the only road to get in or out of Callender. And so the town is now being basically strangled by the Danbys. Enter our hero, Jason McCullough, a confident and exceptionally skilled gunfighter who all he wants to do is emigrate to Australia.
Mm-hmm.
It's the last of the frontiers, because he never envisioned Star Trek. And while he's in a bar, he watches one of the Danbys kill a man over a card game. And even though the guy's, it was self-defense, you saw it, he's like, well, it might have been a lot of things, but self-defense it wasn't. And we see that he knows what he's talking about, and he's confident in his abilities, McCullough, that is. But he realizes that he needs some money, and so he takes the job of sheriff. I love the audition period for taking the job as sheriff. They're in the store, and he takes a washer and flips it up in the air and shoots at it and catches it and shows them that there's a hole. But there's always a hole in a washer. He's like, well, I shot through it. I mean, it doesn't do it again. And so they put tape over it. He does it, shoots it up. They agree. The council kind of agrees to do this just in time for a street brawl to break out. And he goes out and ends up in a fight with Prudy. Prudy is the sheriff's daughter, the one who found the gold originally. And she is, she reminds me of the love interest from Apple Dumpling Gang.
Okay, yeah.
The no nonsense, but also hot headed. Mm-hmm. Like a little bit of the Maureen O'Hara.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of. So, in the process of all this, McCullough arrests Joe. He's the Danby guy who killed the other, and holds him in the town's jail, which isn't finished yet. They had to send away for the bars, and so there's no bars on the window. There's no bars on the door. So he goes over and he draws a line in chalk, and then he takes some red paint and dribbles it on the floor. So when he arrests Joe and he puts him in, he's like, there's no bars. Yeah, I know, but you're going to stay on that side of the line, and I'm going to stay on this side of the line. What's that red stuff? Oh, that's the last guy who tried to cross the line. And then Joe goes and sits down very calmly, very meekly.
Oh, yes, sir.
I really enjoyed this this performance by Bruce Dern, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Joe's father shows up, Pa Danby, angrily bursts in, points a gun at McCullough's face, and McCullough puts his finger in the gun. This is a terrible plan for several reasons, one of which you can lose a finger. Mm-hmm. Two, it can cause that gun to blow up because these are Old West guns. That being said, it worries Pa enough that eventually he gets the gun put away, and they talk. And he realizes he can't scare this particular sheriff. So they try to get some gunfighters in. They try to, eventually the bars get put onto the thing, and they try to tear the bars off the jail window, and it doesn't work. And it's just this comedy of errors at that point. All leading up to this fed up, Pa enlisting all of his relatives. We're going to ride into town. We're going to free my son. And when the news gets there, McCullough, he's going to leave. I mean, he's got no tie to that. She agrees to him. She's like, yeah, that's absolutely sensible. To which he changes his mind and says, no, it's cowardly. He has his deputy, played by Jack Elam. I love Jack Elam. He's the guy with the eye that's drifted. Mm-hmm. The ne'er-do-well, kind of thing. He's the guy who cleans the shit. The stables. There's this great big long, gunfight where nobody dies. Well, okay, there's a whole lot of people get shot at, and some probably get injured, but it doesn't look really like anyone dies in it. And eventually McCullough basically grabs his prisoner, Joe, and he ties him to a cannon that had been in town and sticks a fuse into it and bluffs that he was just set it off. Yeah, I might die, but also you'll be wearing Joe. So the Danbys are marched off to jail, and the unloaded cannon fires as the fuse actually catches, smashing the local brothel, scattering all the prostitutes and all of the council people, because it's that kind of gag. Afterwards, McCullough and Prudy, they get engaged. The deputy kind of breaks the fourth wall and say, yeah, he went on to become the first governor of Colorado, never did make it to Australia, though he reads about it a lot. And as for me, because, I take my place as sheriff and became one of the most beloved characters in Western folklore. Credits.
Yeah.
So, talk to me about your experience here.
Oh, I knew exactly what kind of movie I was getting into as soon as they spotted gold in the grave and started clambering to get into it. I'm like, okay, I figured it was going to be a silly kind of Western, but this was like, oh, this is almost Mel Brooksian in its tone. It's like, okay. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, okay. So I strapped in and just waited for the silliness to happen. I did enjoy the fact that once Joe Danby got into the jail cell, he became the most intelligent of the Danbys. Mm-hmm. He's like, okay, well, I don't want to get shot, so I'm going to sit down. Okay, they're putting the bars in. I can't leave, so I might as well help them do something with my time. So he helps them put the bars in. That's how he knows they're good and strong.
I could have told you that it wasn't going to work because I helped him put them in. You what? Walter Brennan did a great Pa Danby.
Oh, he did. Absolutely. You mentioned the brawl in the mud. That's the first thing he deals with as sheriff, and he just get the fire hose on him. Tells everybody to, whatever. It's like, hey, I'm the new sheriff. Stop this. Well, we're not scared of you. And somebody tries to draw a gun, and he shoots the gun out of their hand. And he's like, okay, you're the new sheriff. Let's go, boys. Let's get out of town. Let's go clean ourselves up. And just...
We're done now.
The absurdly effective methods he uses. Like, there's one point where some people come whooping and hollering into town, and you see him sitting outside of the sheriff's office, just kind of on a chair, and he sees them riding in, and he reaches down real quick, grabs a rope, ties it off to a pole, and yanks, causing the horses to trip, and these guys go flying into the dirt. And he's like, appreciate it if you guys would just come into town quieter. They're like, yes, sir. I'm like, oh, this...
To which they do.
To which they do. He's almost Bugs Bunny-esque in his sheriffing.
Yeah.
Any minute now, I expect him to put on a bellboy, a bellhop uniform and go, telegram for Mongo. Yeah.
It would have worked.
It would have worked. It's great. And so, I mean, no notes. I enjoyed every bit of it.
So it's one of those movies where it is like 90 minutes long, and there's not a wasted bit of it.
Even the opening credits had some sight gags.
Mm-hmm. If it went on much longer, it would have had problems. If it was cut any down, it would have had problems. I'm going to say Jack Elam as Jake. He's the cross-eyed, ne'er-do-well or guy with the complicated past. Or he was the old good-for-nothing. That was it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
His thing was he was the old good-for-nothing. He had made his name in film doing mostly gangsters and heavies. Like, he was a villain.
Really?
For years.
I'd never seen him in anything other than the Goofy character.
Yeah, so early on in his acting career, I mean, he was mostly a villain, like guest villain for things like Lone Ranger and Gunsmoke, that kind of stuff. But his turn into heroic characters didn't start until like the early 60s. When he was in some TV series, the Dakotas, and then cast as a former gunfighter, become U.S. Marshal in Temple, Houston. So in 1966 was his first comic role in the Night of the Grizzly, which I've never seen.
I haven't
just
either.
Read about, one of those things. It's starring Clint Walker, who was a guy known for westerns in the 50s, kind of thing. But by the time he did this, so just 3 years later, he was doing this, Support Your Local Sheriff. That was about the time that his villainous parts started dropping. And his comic roles started increasing. He also played opposite John Wayne in Rio Lobo. He played a cranky old coot.
Yeah.
But it was all built into this notion of when he was, as his eye drift got more and more. So he got into a fight when he was 11 at a Boy Scout meeting and basically got a pencil in the eye.
Holy crap.
And there were no doctors, and so they didn't get it checked out until much later. By that point, it was too late to do anything. Eventually, they just removed the lens, and the eye became sightless. 20 years later, his eye started to drift.
Okay.
And he asked one of the Hollywood people, was like, should I get it fixed? And they said, no, that's going to be your character. Like, it's going to add to the mystique of these villains that you play. And then as it got more and more, it became part of the comedy of the characters he was playing that always looked just slightly deranged and a little dim.
Yeah.
So, but the one I want to talk about is Bruce Dern. So Bruce Dern played Joe Danby. He played the guy who gets in jail. I knew Bruce Dern because he was the villainous admiral from Down Periscope.
Yeah.
All right. That's where I knew him. And it's kind of like, remember when we watched the Mel Brooks 12 Chairs and we realized that Frank Langella used to be hot?
Yeah.
It's like, I didn't picture Bruce Dern looking like that.
Yeah. See, I knew him from The Burbs because he was the militaristic neighbor. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah.
Joe Dante. That's who directed The Burbs, Joe Dante. Oh, that's wonderful. I'd forgotten all about The Burbs. I've got like a 4-pack of Tom Hanks movies several years ago that had Dragnet, which has Harry Morgan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And The Money Pit. And so it's,
I've got
The Burbs.
I've got a 3-pack that's those 3 movies. Yeah.
So it's like, wow. All right. Anyway, it's fun watching some of these people who went on to like such a different style of movie and so forth. You know, Harry Morgan's Harry Morgan. He was the mayor also in Apple Dumpling Gang.
Yeah.
He was in MASH. Mm-hmm. You know, he was later on in Support Your Local Gunfighter.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. It is an excellent cast that did basically 2 movies that were the same movie but different.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because Support Your Local Sheriff and Support Your Local Gunfighter have enough similarities that you're like, I see what you did there. And they're both great. This one is fantastic. This one is an absolute see it from me because this is one of those, you could put this in front of just about anybody and the humor is going to work.
Yeah.
Because there's a bit of slapstick, there's a bit of wordplay, there's a bit of, you know, a bit of that just where what you expect isn't what you get. You know,
yeah.
I could have told you that it wasn't going to work because I helped put these bars in myself. You know, that joke by itself is like an adult gets that on a deep level.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the pride with which he says it.
Yeah.
I did a good job. So it's a see it from me.
What about it's you? A see it from me too. I'm not a big Western guy, but I do. There's like 3 or 4 that I like, and this is now on that list.
It's got to be a pretty special story for me to like it in a Western setting.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is one of them. I really enjoy it. I'm glad you enjoyed it. It's a see it from both of us. It's free on Tubi. So I guess that's it for today, and that means it's your turn for next time.
I think I got something.
All right.